And here it is. I'm not quite sure why it is so dark. I do have sufficient enough light on. Let's see, how do we position this? Uh, I'm not quite sure. We just have to make do as best we can. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. The session comment. I'm a bit somewhat befuddled, flustered somewhat because the lightning is not quite and I do want to set up the whole setup because it is meant to be daytime, but we just have to make do as it is. So roll up, ladies and gentlemen. Woman went to mow. That afternoon session, morning session, or evening session, depending on where you are, because of course we cover the entirety of the globe from this little front room of mine that I reach out to you. So Gava, come and join. I know that I did not advertise this with sufficient enough time for too many people to be aware. But if you have seen the notice and you want to participate, then here it is right here. One man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
National anthem, Mr. Albert Congo raises the flag of the new nation.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
And there you heard it. Nigeria, we hail thee. Oh goodness me, this is just now. This is. Uh, hold on. It's just not on, is it? Let me see if I can. As you can see, that's my lightning right there. We just have to make do, as I said, as best we can. Nigeria, we hail thee, and indeed we hail thee indeed. So Nigeria, we hail thee, as guys, I bring you this. So quite a bit of a line, not that much of a lineup. Let me correct myself. Not that much of a lineup for this session. It's just really a bit of a cameo session, really. But this something that struck me rather somewhat as a curiosity, and I'm going to share that with you. So let me share the screen so you can actually see where I am. So there it is right there. So let me share that screen with you. This came to me somewhat caught me off guard. A 25-year-old man set to marry his 85-year-old lover. So there it is right there. Don't get me wrong. I subscribe to age is just a number. Matters of the heart, something you cannot unravel. I'm on board with all of that. But a 25-year-old man set to wed his 85-year-old lover. So take that's a what? That's a good 50-year age difference right there. So that comes if not an alarm, that certainly comes as a surprise. So that comes, if not as an alarm, it certainly comes as a surprise. So there it is right there. It's somewhat of a curiosity, but what are we making of that and what has led to that? So we'll contend with that, and then we'll also contend with this. Let me bring you the next one. So I'll share that. I'll share the screen on that one as well. So the next one would be yes, MC Oluomo. So this is MC Oluomo right here. The just the Agbero guy from Lagos State, but it looks as though now he has been dismissed as the road transport whatever for Lagos State. So it says Transport Union NURTW sacks MC Oluomo and dissolves Lagos Council. So it looks as though the national body are now totally and categorically fed up with the waywardness of this element, and enough is enough now seems to be the verdict on that space. So it looks as though P45 to MC Oluomo, the Agbero from Moshi Central. Our Transport Union, NURTW, sacks MC Oluomo and dissolves Lagos Council. So we'll contend with that as well. So that will be the second narrative that we're going to contend with. And then there's a third narrative as well. I'm just somewhat, you see, this is going to bother me now, but there it is right there. It's just, you see, if I tilt it this way, the light is a bit better. Let me see. Okay, let's hold it like that, but it seems to dip in and out for whatever reason. It's the thing. But there it is right there. This is still me. I am still here. They say black man in the dark and all that. It fades into the background. So, but here I am, that black man in the dark, somewhat metaphorically, and somebody will even say in actual fact. So there it is right there. So let me bring you the third headline that we're contending with, and we just make do with the session as it is. So let me bring you the third headline that we're contending with. The third headline that we're contending with, here it is. So here it is. Anti-grazing law, Amotekun and soldiers clash over arrest of cows that destroyed farmlands in Ondo. So there it is right there. Amotekun, anti-grazing law, Amotekun and soldiers clash over arrest of cows that destroyed farmlands in Ondo. So there it is, and we all know where that is almost certainly going to lead, of course. It only ever leads in one direction, and that is the army, which is essentially a Fulani outpost within the Nigerian state, preventing the Amotekun, which is the Yoruba security organization, from stopping Fulani headsmen destroying farms in Yoruba land. I'm just presuming to reach that conclusion of the back of the headline, and that's usually how it plays out, and I suspect that it's not going to play out any differently in this instance. So that is the menu. So sit back, lean back, take it easy. Click on the like button, the subscribe button, and all the usual buttons that you do click on. So I'll play you a little musical intermission as you are clicking on those buttons as I attempt to resolve this lightning issue that I'm having. So let's go to a space that we've not been to for a while. Let's go to the Holy Land and find out who the Savior is. Holy, holy.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, holy. to victory. Inyamadika yabika kwa namno wow. Hey, ana mekele mazuche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along. Holy, 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 holy. Nandekano is another savior. Gonna sing along. Holy, 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 holy. Nandekano is another savior. When I sing along. Holy, 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 holy. Is another savior. Getting it right and getting it faster now. Holy, 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 holy. Is another savior. Holy, holy, getting it right and faster. Never freedom. Is another savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 holy. Nandekano is another savior. Another savior. Holy, 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 holy. Adimebuju.
Okay, that should do. And this slightly a little bit, just a little bit better. So, holy, 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 holy Nandekano, their other savior. So, you all know that narrative already. So, let's get straight to it. Holy, holy. Uh, holy, holy I've never come across anything like this before. Uh, so here it is. 25-year-old man set to wed his 85-year-old lover. So here it is right there. A 25-year-old man has a 25-year-old man has shocked the world after disclosing his plans to marry his 85-year-old. And guess what they are describing? Let me just highlight that for your benefit. Let me make sure that it's actually showing. Yeah, there it is. So guess what they are calling the 85-year-old? His girlfriend. This is the thing. Uh, a 25-year-old man has shocked the world after disclosing his plans to marry his 85-year-old girlfriend. That's even older than my mother, by the way. Uh, Muima met his lover, Teresa, when he was looking for a house to rent whilst he furthers his study. So this is actually an education. So let me just start again because it continues to unfurl to just more shocking details. A 25-year-old man has shocked the world after disclosing his plans to marry his 85-year-old girlfriend. Uh, my Muammar met his lover Theresa when he was looking for a house to rent whilst oh god, it's going to be one of those. A 25-year-old man has shocked the world after disclosing his plans to marry his 85-year-old girlfriend. Muima met his lover Theresa when he was looking for a house to rent whilst he furthered his studies. He and his colleagues found themselves at Teresa's house in Kenya and they paid rent and moved in. Muima and Teresa became friends and she used to jokingly call him her husband, which he took lightly. But as time went by, both started falling in love. Muima told Afrimax English, the way she behaved and treated me pushed me to love her. And though she's an old woman and in reality she could be my grandmother, I love her. He recounted a day his colleague was away and he was hungry and had no food in his rental house. The woman brought him some food and served him with so much care before asking for a kiss, and he obliged. Their bond grew stronger afterwards, and the couple spent time playing, lifting one another, and traveling despite Teresa's age. This is my choice. This is my happiness. As anyone else has theirs. Before pleasing others, first please yourself and decide not to base on anyone else's opinion, Muima told Afrimax English. Teresa has grandchildren older than Muima, but she is not ashamed of being in a relationship with him. She said, I have 8 grandchildren and 20 I have 8 children and 20 grandchildren. According to my boyfriend's age, he could be my fifth rather grandchild. He could be my fifth grandchild. He loves me and I love him. I am ready to put on the wedding dress and the ring. Muima is even ready to pay the bride price of 12 cows, which her girlfriend's children, which his rather girlfriend's children have asked for. He said he has found love with the granny after being in many dramatic relationships which were draining. I'll never choose any girl over this one. I pray she won't die before me. Oh God. I pray this is the 25-year-old guy praying that his 85-year-old intended, his fiancée, we have to say, does not die before him. So this is what he said. I'll never choose any girl over this one, and I pray she won't die before me. Muima added. Teresa doesn't rule out the chances of raising a family with her young boyfriend. She said there are examples in the Bible of old women who gave birth, and that gives her hope. And there it is right there. And that is that guy's life totally and completely destroyed. So that is that guy's life totally and completely destroyed. I have not heard anything more foolish in the totality of the entirety of my life. So that is that guy willingly destroying his own life. So there it is right there. Thoughts on that in the comment section. Let's go on to the next readout to see what we're making of it. Okay, so let's do the Amotekun story. Let's do the Amotekun story. Anti-grazing law. Amotekun and soldiers clash over arrest of cows that destroyed farmlands in Ondo. Men of the Ondo State Security Network Agency and soldiers on Tuesday evening, April the 4th, clashed in Akure, the state capital, over the arrest of about 100 cows that violated the state anti-grazing law. It was gathered that officials of the corps responded to a distress call from farmers in Oke-Aro area of the state capital, complaining over the destruction of their farmland by some herders and their cows. The state security officials rushed to the scene of the incident and arrested the cows and their owners on the farm, whilst the farmer alleged the cows have destroyed farmlands and other valuables in the area. According to an eyewitness, the Amotekun men were prevented from taking the cows away by some soldiers reportedly attached to the 32nd Artillery Brigade in Akure. The source said the soldiers reportedly claimed that the cows belonged to their officers in the barracks and prevented the Amotekun men from taking the cows away. Whilst the Amotekun personnel was marching the arrested cows to their office at Alagbaka area of the state, soldiers numbering about 10 stormed the area with Hilux vehicle and prevented the arrest of the cows, the source told newsmen. The soldiers insisted that the Amotekun men would not go away with the cows because they belonged to their officers from the military barracks. But the Amotekun officers insisted that the cows have violated the anti-grazing law and must be taken to their office for the owners to build them or pay for the damaged farmlands. Crisis started with an exchange of hot words, and it later snowballed into exchange of blows between the two security outfits on the streets. Before we know what was happening, they started shooting sporadically in the air. Immediately, they started shooting. The residents scampered for safety in order not to be caught in the shooting by the two security outfits. The soldiers eventually overpowered the Amotekun personnel and whisked away two personnel. Reacting to the incident, the state commander of Amotekun, Chief Adetunji Adeleye described the incident as a minor disagreement between the officers of the two security outfits. So there it is right there. We're starting to find out somewhat now who's behind all this. Apparently, it's the military officers that are behind all these cows in Yoruba land. And those military officers, of course, almost with certainty of northern extraction. So there it is right there. That act of intimidation, as we suspected, exactly as it is. So there it is right there, a confession from their own mouth. So that confession from their own mouth, let's go on now to the last talking point. So what was the third one? So bear with me. Oh yes, the MC Oluomo narrative. So let's go to MC Oluomo, see what is going on in his world. Hold on. Transport Union (NURTW) sacks MC Oluomo and dissolves Lagos State Council. The National Administrative Council (NAC) of the National Union of Road Transport Workers (NURTW) has sacked Alhaji Musiliu Akisanya, aka MC Oluomo, as the Lagos State Chairman of the Union. The Union also dissolved its Lagos State Council. The National Administrative Council of the Union made this known in a statement titled Dissolution of Lagos State Administrative Council, jointly signed by its national president Alhaji Tajuddin Baruwa and General Secretary Alhaji Kabiru Ado Yuwa. The union said the decision was based on the provisions of the union's constitution. The union secretary in Lagos State, Seyi Bankole, was subsequently announced as the new head of NURTW Lagos. The statement reads in part, in view of the fact that nature abhors vacuum, the state secretary of the union, Comrade Seyi Bankole, is hereby directed to take over the running of the affairs of Lagos State Council pending the constitution of a caretaker committee after consultation with relevant authorities. The statement also advised all members of the union in the state and general public to henceforth desist from dealing with members of the dissolved Lagos State Council on issues concerning the union. Recall that MC Oluomo was earlier suspended by the national body of the union on grounds of insubordination and incitement to violence. In the statement released today, April the 6th, the national body stated that it took the decision to dissolve the Lagos State Council due to the failure of MC Oluomo to show remorse. The statement reads, the National Administrative Council, during its meeting of March the 15th, 2022, graciously passed a resolution to grant pardon to the suspended state chairman if he showed remorse and tendered unreserved apology to the union. However, up till this moment, the suspended chairman has bluntly refused to do so, hence the decision to take action against the Lagos State Administrative Council by dissolving same. So there it is right there. MC Oluomo now no longer the chief agbero of Lagos State. So there it is right there. How long will this subsist and will this hold is the question. So there it is right there. So there's just a little cameo of a session. So we went through the narrative of a 25-year-old Kenyan man that is getting married to an 85-year-old woman. So there it is. I think that perhaps this year so far, that's the most shocking thing yet that I've heard. You know, not to stand in the way of true love and anything, but that is by far the most shocking thing I've heard this year. I'll be doing a standalone video on that because I think that storyline, it needs a bit more attention to it. So I'll do that. So I'll leave it here. It's just a short little cameo session, and it is a closed session, by the way. So So Charles, so we do the links in the evening session, Charles, but this one is a closed session. So if you want to interact with the sessions, then you do that in the comment section, which Charles has just been doing, asking for the link. So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.